What's up, everybody? Wanted to upload a video discussing Jason Whitlock's um, earlier podcast with Outkick. If you don't know what that is, it's another site or channel that Jason Whitlock, who was an ex FS1 sports analyst, is on. It's called Outkick Fearless with Jason Whitlock. And I don't know. Whatever he said in the first 19 minutes just resonated with me, and I just felt like I had to bring it on here so everybody else could understand the importance of what he's saying. Jason Whitlock basically has been blackballed from every single TV station for sports, for just for anything, because of his views on athletes, his views on America. I don't know if you can really consider him a conservative, but he does call out a lot of the liberal parties and these athletes who are endorsed by big companies like LeBron with Nike and all these other things. And he's pretty much been blackballed. And he has his own show, like I said, with Outkick. And he's now basically doing podcasting in his own show. And I was, searching through some of his other videos with Outkick, and he brought up the discussion of basically what is going to advance black people in the world. And I find it very refreshing to find a black man talking about it, because it seems like we don't have enough black men in society who have, any type of answer. They kind of just shun that away, or place blame on the government, or place blame on white people. And, what he said was pretty powerful, because it's the truth and nobody wants to hear it. With these Black Lives Matter protests, people just want to place blame and, do all these things. And Whitlock pretty much broke it down by saying, everybody want to say I'm an activist, I'm a protester. The time for protesting is done. The time for excellence is now. And he's referring to black people in this. None of this really has to do with whites or anybody. It's mostly how we're going to advance black people. And when he means the protesting is done, and all these people in Hollywood and all these people saying I'm an activist and all this other crap, he's basically referring back to the 1950s and the 60s, when protesting for the civil rights with Martin Luther King was necessary. That he's saying that was the time for protesting, because blacks couldn't vote, we couldn't go to schools with white people, we couldn't live with everybody else, we couldn't eat certain places, we couldn't do certain things. And the actual time for protesting was at that point, when laws and rules needed to be changed so that we could live in a country where we are treated equally. Now, we have come such a long way. We still have a long way to go for everybody, just not blacks. Asians are being discriminated from Harvard and Yale. You got white people being discriminated by black people now. So we're a long way off, but he's right. The protesting is done. We don't need protesting anymore. There's no laws that need to be changed. There's no need for it. And his follow-up quote was, "The time to put in the work is now. Take advantage of the past generations protesting so that we can better ourselves and be a success story." And I find that very refreshing, because it is so true that everybody wants to sit around and complain and say, I don't know what to do, the government owes me money, this and that. It's none of that. Like, everybody who laid the foundation protesting and all this are either they're pretty much so old now they're almost gone, and people don't remember anything they did, or they're gone and we don't get a chance to say thank you or all these things they've done. But the biggest way we can do by becoming a success story, that's our thank you to these people who laid down their lives in the 50s and the 60s, so that we have this opportunity to be success stories. And I don't know, I just felt the need that I had to bring this up, because you can say what you want. This was just like a little snippet from his his podcast. It's a whole hour. If you want to watch it, I'll leave a link in the description below to check out the video that I was watching. But I just felt that this needed to be shared because it's so true, but nobody wants to hear the truth anymore. And say what you want about Whitlock, you know, he had some harsh critiques of LeBron, which were pretty much were pretty much true. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of his harsh criticisms were true. Um, you know, his arguments with people and over the years may or may not have been warranted, but this man really does care. He really wants to see the black community do well, and he wants to call out the bull crap on everything else within this government and with how fake Black Lives Matter is. So I just wanted to share this. Hopefully you like it. Share it with your friends. Share it with everybody. You know, I want his message to be passed on to everybody because he's such a bigger name and people know who he is. When you say that, everybody gets either a positive reaction or a negative. But what he said is true and it needs to be passed on. And closing this out, you know, his closing quote that I just want to leave you with is, "Pity don't pay no bills."